Hey, this is Matt once again with the back to the videos, the paid request, this time for one of my dear friends, Efree. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, topics, reactions, commentaries, what have you, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. So this is a topic versus, I'm sure will be controversial, The Fast and the Furious versus Point Break. Which makes sense because they both have a very similar plot. You have an FBI agent that goes undercover. You have criminals that do heists and involve a sporting activity, surfing or dealing with racing with cars. You have the lead character falling in love with someone who's part of the group. You have them bonding with the criminal. You have things go haywire, and ultimately the hero lets the criminal go, as well as other similarities. I've said before, I'll say it again, I have never, ever understood Point Break's cult status. I love a lot of films of that era. I Come in Peace with Dolph Lundgren, The Perfect Weapon, Jeff Speakman, Speed, Demolition Man, Cliffhanger, Lionheart. I love Stone Cold with Brian Bosworth. I love a lot of action films of that era. I could never give a rat's ass about Point Break. I love Patrick Swayze in Uncommon Valor and Roadhouse. I would even say I like Steel Dawn more than Point Break. Patrick Swayze didn't do a bad job. I never gave a crap about his character. I don't give a shit about surfing. Not one iota of fucks given about surfing. I thought Keanu Reeves, as much as I liked him, I thought he gave one of his weakest performances in this. I won't say the weakest because there was stuff like Bram Stoker's Dracula, but especially his early career, he was much better in the film Speed. He was much better in the Matrix films, at least the first three. Much better in Constantine, much better in Street Teens. I thought Keanu Reeves was very poor in it. Nice to see Gary Busey in there. Lori Petty was fine, but I didn't really, buy a love story with her involved. I like Catherine Bigelow as a director. I mean, I would put Blue Steel above Point Break. I would put other films she's done, The Hurt Locker, of course, above Point Break. It just, when I compare it to The Fast and Furious, and long story short, I think The Fast and Furious is better than Point Break. I like it more. I'd rather watch it more. I could easily rewatch Fast and Furious, but Point Break be a chore to sit through. Number one, if I could, I like Keanu Reeves more as an actor than Paul Walker. But Paul Walker grew on me, and I enjoyed him more as he went his career. His career was sadly cut way too short. Running Scared, Hours. He did some really solid ones at the end there. But if you're and Keanu Reeves, I enjoy his filmography more. The John Wick films and the Matrix trilogy and Constantine and so forth. Speed. Love the film Speed. But movie to movie, I do think Paul Walker gives a better acting performance than Keanu Reeves does. I do. I like Keanu Reeves more as a person, as his career, I should say. They both seem like really good people. But I grew up more with Keanu Reeves. I liked his fun. But just in that movie, versus, I think Paul Walker does a better job than Keanu Reeves. I like Vin Diesel. I just think he picks a lot of bad choices lately. His hands are like this on the Fast and Furious franchise because he knows once he's let go, his career's pretty much done. Because he can't find a hit. He can't catch a hit. Another box office hit. But I do like I like Pitch Black. I like the first Triple X movie. I like Vin Diesel. And I think the way it's written, I think his character is more likable than Patrick Swayze's character. the way it's written. So again, I like Keanu Reeves, I like Paul Walker, I like Patrick Swayze, I like Vin Diesel. I would say I like Keanu Reeves and Patrick Swayze more in terms of actors in their careers, but I do like the other two in Fast and Furious. But in two movies, I think Paul Walker, why are you repeating yourself? Because I want to make it adamant, because sometimes I say stuff and people misinterpret it. So that's why I repeat 3 or 4 times to not get things twisted. In this film, I think Paul Walker did a better acting job than Keanu Reeves. I think Vin Diesel's character comes off more likable than Patrick Swayze's character, who is more willing to kill and murder, and that's why I don't buy the way it ends compared to Fast and Furious. You say it's played more safe, but to me, it just, as an audience member, it makes more sense as to, okay, well, he's a tough guy and he protects his family and he's not murdering innocent people or innocent cops, unlike Patrick Swayze did. Vin Diesel comes off as a more likable character. Racing cars is much more satisfying to watch than surfing. I never gave a shit about surfing. I think it's boring as hell. It's almost boring to me as golf. That's how I think of surfing. Surfing and golf might as well be the same thing. I think they're boring as shit to watch. Racing cars, a lot more exciting, a lot more thrilling, doing these street racing. See, that guy in the train? He's tooting his horn to go, I agree. Exactly. Trains, planes, automobiles. They're all in the same connection. See? I agree, Mr. Train. Racing cars is just more fun to watch. Aesthetically, it's more exciting. It's more adrenaline pumping. So it makes it less boring than Point Break. Also, Fast and Furious, I actually remember the action sequences. I remember the heist sequences with the guys trying to get to the truck and one car is going underneath the... Which, I doubt that could happen in real life. But, you know, and neither films are realistic. But I remember you guys swerving under the truck, and I just get more of a... I can remember the action. I can never remember a single action scene from Point Break, other than the people meme where, I'm shooting the air. What you don't do? Kill the sky? You don't shoot the sky? Sky don't be full of bullets like 50 Cent? You shoot the air, I just don't care. Whatever. What is so great about the action scenes in Point Break? What action sequence stands out in Point Break? In Fast and Furious, I like the bit when they're going after the bad guys and they're taking care of business. The street racing scenes are exciting to watch. The bit at the end where they're both racing and Vin Diesel's car gets fucked up, and the cool shot where you're in Paul Walker's car and you see his point of view of the car after it's been flipped going over, and we see like his point of view through the windshield, this car. That's a really cool looking shot. So I think the action scenes are more exciting and more fun to watch in Fast and Furious. The soundtrack, I thought worked better, because I don't remember a damn piece of music in Point Break. Like I said, racing is a lot more exciting than surfing. The ending I buy a lot more in Fast and Furious, because in Point Break, it wasn't Patrick Swayze, but it was one of his crew killing Gary Busey's character. And Keanu Reeves got his partner killed. Just, Keanu Reeves like, no, don't shoot. And instead of being attentive, look behind you, there's a guy over there, anything. Busey's like, get out of the way, man, he's a criminal, what are you doing? He's killed cops, what are you doing? And he just shot in the back. So Keanu Reeves got his partner Gary Busey killed like a fucking moron he is. I didn't feel that way with Paul Walker's character. I did feel that way with Keanu Reeves' character. Maybe not like his character. It just made him seem like a fucking idiot. You got Gary Busey killed because you're sorry ass. And then, despite all these people who got killed, you just don't let him get his surf on at the end? Bullshit. No, you don't get that. You don't deserve it. What has Patrick Swayze done to deserve getting his way or the highway, his way of going out? You don't deserve it. Well, in Fast and Furious, it makes more sense. You know what? I get what you're going through. I get what's happened. I feel more sense of a bond. Gives him the tease, go off. Which then it's helped in future sequels. Because I do like Too Fast, Too Furious. I do like Fast 5. I do like Fast 6. So now you've had all this development, which strengthens the first film. I just think Fast and Furious has gone past his registration date. I don't mind Fast 8, but did you need it? No. Fast 9 sucked. This new film looks even shittier than Fast 9. 7 was... Does the death of Paul Walker kind of... Part 3 didn't give a shit about that prequel. So yeah, I guarantee people don't say it's Point Break. You feel free to mention as to why. Like I say, when I look at performance-wise, I think Vin Diesel and Paul Walker do a better job with what they need to do. Patrick Swayze, there's no reason for me to root for that character. Keanu Reeves, I think is one of his weaker performances, and he comes off as a dumb character. Action-wise, I can remember stuff. What is there to remember action-wise in Point Break? Skydiving and surfing. Okay, well, that didn't do much for me. I'm sorry. And like I said, the ending, I'm like, fuck you. Patrick Swayze don't deserve to go in there. Come on. The ending I thought made more sense and was more satisfying than Fast and Furious. And I said racing is more... I'm just repeating myself, I know. But... like, for me, like, I could answer this in less than 2 seconds. Like, Fast and Furious I'd rather watch. But yeah, a lot of people love, like, just... You just feel free to explain to me what's so great about Point Break. Like I said, I love a lot of those 90s action films. I listed some of them. I could list more. Die Hard 2, Die Hard with a Vengeance, Eraser, and True Lies, and I like Terminator 2. Like all those action, classics. Why is Point Break so beloved? I don't understand it. I don't get it. I think it's one of Keanu Reeves' weaker movies of that era. It's definitely one of Patrick Swayze's weaker movies. I'd rather watch Black Dog than Point Break. I just never understood the love for it. Never understood it. So easily Fast and Furious for me. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. And we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.